So, what do we know? Asked Max, Frank's dad, leaning across a table at the back of the bakery to look at the information Grace and Frank had found. Well, there are a couple of routes to the Forest of Fiends, and we've identified a couple of areas that are likely to have caves, so we think they're probably the best places to start, replied Grace. Kenny was sitting on her shoulder, his wiry legs draped over her collarbone. Grace's dad, Eamon, cleared his throat. A lot of monsters live in the Forest of Fiends, and that alone makes it dangerous. We need a plan to... A shrill ring interrupted him. He pulled his videophone out of his pocket. It's Colonel Hardy, he said, referring to the head of the Secret Service. Hello, Colonel. What a nice surprise to hear from you so soon after the last assignments. There's no time for niceties, Mr. Hunter, said the immaculately dressed woman on the screen. We have an emergency. Grace, Kenny still on her shoulder, her mum Louisa, Danny, Max and Frank gathered around Eamon. There's been a major incident in Monster World, the Colonel said briskly. Approximately 2 hours ago, 43 monsters who were serving prison sentences in the imaginatively named Monster World Prison managed to escape. All but one remain at large. We have reason to believe that some of these monsters were Neville Harris's followers, with whom Neville Harris had intended to take over human world. We must act fast. Eamon raised his eyebrows, speechless. Oh, my goblins, whispered Frank. Colonel Hardy continued. You will be the task force on this case. I suggest that Mr. Harris and 3 hunters head directly to Monster World, while the remaining 3 hunters stay here to intercept any monsters who make it through the gateways. We cannot let this situation get out of control, can we, Mr. Harris? Grace felt her heart beat faster as Colonel Hardy's gaze moved over the faces on her screen. Where is Mr. Harris? She asked, frowning. Bathroom, blurted Grace, at the same time as Danny said, napping. Colonel Hardy frowned. Well, wherever he is, please make sure he understands the seriousness of the situation and doesn't feel the need to do anything unbelievably, mind-numbingly stupid. I'll be calling in on you frequently. You must contact me straight away if you have any significant progress to report. Colonel Hardy, ventured Grace, may I ask a question? The Colonel nodded curtly. You said that all but one of the monsters are still at large, said Grace. What type of monster has been recaptured? Can we get any information from it about what happened, or about what the escaped monsters plan to do? Good question, Grace, but don't get excited, the Colonel replied. The recaptured monster was an elderly goblin who fell asleep in the grass after he ran across the prison exercise field and wore himself out. One of the prison officers tripped over him and carried him back inside. He's being questioned now, but the last I heard, they're struggling to keep him awake. I don't think he's going to be your best lead. The screen went blank. The Hunter family remained quiet. A monster prison break, said Eamon. Never in all my years of monster hunting. Well, that decides our plan for us. We need to find Mr. Harris now, said Max. Looking at the information Grace and Frank printed off, Monster World Prison is on the way to the Forest of Fiends. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to have to help. He's part of our team, and Colonel Hardy is already suspicious about where he is. He can keep watch for prisoners while he's on his way to find his mum. Grace frowned. He won't be happy when we track him down. Max shrugged. He might end up being grateful if we warn him before he comes across any of the escapees. I dread to think which monsters might have escaped, and what they could be capable of.